Alright everyone, we're gonna get started with the second half of what usually always is becoming an eclectic evening at Caravan, with different art forms being expressed. Before we get started though, if anyone has any announcements, any shows, well, like event, or anything else they want to plug, upcoming events? I got nothing. And if anybody else has something, microphone's open for that, or make a point to mention it. Otherwise, we can get rolling. Yeah? Cool. Alright, so starting off the second half, we actually have a member of the newly christened Winnipeg Poetry Slam team, the Central Slam, which Mason just got back from CFSW. I want to give him a round of applause for that. Him and his team of Roman Kravitz, who wanted to be here tonight and hug everybody, but he drove all the way back from here. Adrian, who fucking got featured at the showcase. Courtney, and Derek. You guys were really did a good. And he also threw down his gauntlet in the undies, which was really good. Being underground undies.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually a funny sentence. He threw down his gauntlet in the undies.
Wow.
In Saskatoon, right? That was really good. Sitting in the audience there, and went out with them to support, and everyone was like, "I've never heard of a city in Canada called Central." You know, talking to this friend I made there. He's like, "Oh, we assumed it was like somewhere from Southern Ontario because you had teams coming in all the time, and plus you think they're the center of the world, but no, it's the Hermetic Center of the continent, Central Slam. It is Winnipeg. Everyone at the end of the festival got to know that Central is from Winnipeg, and so help me in welcoming Mason back from Saskatoon."
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
You want me to test this? Oh, did you plug in?
Yes.
Okay, try that first. Okay, now you want me to test this drum thing? Okay.
you.
You're good.
One more time for Mason, everybody. As well with the announcements, I forgot to mention that we are still accepting donations, so whatever we can throw towards the rental of the space. And we're all, hoping for the new purple to come around soon enough. But yeah, just know that we're still accepting donations for the monthly fee we have to rent the space. Great. And next up, we have a performer who I missed. I don't know if I was out of town. I always miss her. Anyways. One of my favorites. Please welcome Tanis to the stage.
This is performance for someone that I missed. And it's 2 acapella songs. Just, yeah. Carrying your ashes from bar to bar. I'm in a mess and you're in a mason jar. With you under my arm like a football. I'm not ready to let go, and that is all you were. Never big on conversation, and that hasn't changed since your cremation. And I feel most times like you do. I feel most times like you do. I wish I was hard-nosed, fight a forest fire with a garden hose. Be brave enough right now to start up something new. You're right there in the urn, light as a feather. If my hands weren't shaking, I'd glue you back together. This watering hole was our favorite stop, so I'll take off the lid and pour a drink down the top for you, and I'll pull down on that magic lever that makes us stay the past forever. And I feel most times like you do. I feel most times like you do. Someone stabbed my voodoo doll, now it hurts each time that nature calls, and you're lucky that nature's finished calling out to you. You were down to your very last little belt loop, but you were tougher than a pit bull in a pair of troops, and you're afraid of getting hurt. To suffer more is like a hypochondriac who dies choking on his pill, so I should swallow real hard and deal with this pain, 'cause I'm as wasted as a neat freak in a hurricane. And I feel most times like you do. I feel most times like you do. I thought that I was the one that died. This was heaven's weird amusement ride. But you pinched me in a dream, and I saw it wasn't true. So I'm dumping your ashes on the floor. And we'll laugh as people slip on you while coming in this door. And I'll drink on what you said to stop my feet dragging. No one dog's bark should ever stop the wagon. This is the last drink. This is it's just the autumn leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves are red and cold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter songs. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. The autumn leaves drift by my window, the autumn leaves all red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon we'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.
One more time for Tanis, everybody. Thank you. Really need that. It's beautiful. All right, and next performer up, we have the lovely local artist with her work outside. If you haven't given it a look, give it a look again.
Yeah, please.
Sure. Yeah. Rianne, everyone, Rianne to the stage.
So I read a lot, almost every day, and I have 2 books that I'm going to read excerpts from. The first one is called Secrets from the Vinyl Cafe by Stuart McLean, and the story is called Tree Planting. Stephanie was back from a summer in the woods. She had been working as a tree planter. She thought it was going to be a ton of fun. She had heard you could make a load of money in no time flat planting trees. So she signed up and found herself on an old school bus, heading north out of Thunder Bay in the early days of May, full of hope. She imagined she was heading into some sort of hippie commune, a world of tents, hammocks, and guitar-strumming nature lovers. When the bus pulled to the base camp, it turned out to be a bunch of burnt and logged out field of charred stumps, smudged by the smoke of a dozen campfires. He pulled a piece of paper out of his pocket and handed it to her. I wrote it for this internet, he said. I posted it on a tree planting site. She unfolded it. Read it, he said. When it is time to plant, plant. When it is time to eat, eat. Whatever you're doing, just do it. If it's raining, you can worry about the rain all day, or you can plan to make money. The rain will pass, and then it will be dinner, and then it will be time to go to sleep. And like the rain, the night will pass too. So better that you just shut up and sleep. As for tomorrow, writes Stephanie, doesn't even enter into it. Stephanie said, I don't think I can do that. Rob looked at her and laughed. That's your problem, he said. You think too much. There are moments in people's lives that change them forever. You can go into the woods to plant trees for 6 weeks, and you can come back and your life will never be the same. Stephanie hit 1,900 trees the next morning. The morning after that, she planted 2,000. 2 weeks would pass before she could break the magic 2,500 mark. Before that would happen, the black flies would return with a vengeance, and she would be bitten to bits, so swollen and scarred that everyone stared at her and called her pizza face. One morning she woke up and her right eye was swollen closed. She couldn't see out of it. She could have stayed in camp that day, but she used duct tape to hold her eye open and went out anyway. That was the day she planted 2,600 trees, her personal best. She sat on the bus at the end of the day, sweaty and tired, sore and stinky, her pants ripped and repaired. Her hair was filthy, her hands were swollen and cut and covered with duct tape. 2,600, she said. That was awesome. And that's what she wrote in her letter. About the day she hit 2,600, and about the afternoon she rammed her shovel into a wasp's nest, and how in June her big toe went numb from kicking the duff, and it stayed numb for the rest of the summer. It's called Christmas toe, she wrote, because sometimes it stays numb until Christmas. She wrote about all that, and about the afternoon she came home upon the lake in the back of her land. She came over the hill and saw it was sparkling water with sun. She couldn't believe it. She took off her clothes and jumped in naked, miles from nowhere, alone in the great boreal forest, amazed at herself, but most of all amazed at life.
Just put it down for now, we'll do that.
Sorry.
The details are different, yet the pattern remains monotonously the same. You and I both know at least generally why. Oh, this is The Moral Lives of Animals by Dale Peterson. The details are different, yet the pattern remains monotonously the same. You and I both know at least generally why these animals are declining and going extinct. We also both generally understand how pervasive this trend is. Half the world's few hundred primate species are threatened and endangered with extinction. And the problem we know is it's not all limited to primates. Without the obvious exception of domesticated animals, every major group of large mammals on the planet is declining in numbers. Both you and I know, in addition, that is virtually every case of the agent behind this powerful global trend of extinction is the same, us. Why are animals going extinct? Since we already know the answer, and since we already know who's doing it, the question becomes a little different. Why are people causing these extinctions? The most immediate answer is that humans are competing with animals over for resources. Sometimes the resources are the forest the animal lives in, or the land the animal lives on. Sometimes the resource is part of the animal. The ivory of elephants comes to mind, or even the whole animal. But in most cases, we can say that the extinction and extincting trends occur as a result of a resource competition between humans and animals. We are thus greeted with the current wave of extinctions and the current trend in species decline everywhere, not because of anything new in the fundamental relationship between humans and animals, but because an ancient competition over resources has suddenly tilted in our favor as a result of two recent and entirely pragmatic events. First, the explosive rise in human numbers since the start of the 20th century, and second, the arrival of several powerful new technology: bulldozers, chainsaws, shotguns, semi-automatic rifles, and so on.
One more time for Rihanna, everyone. So, yeah, animals are our friends. We should be competing with them. I mean, if we win, then everybody loses, pretty much, right? All right, thank you for that. Next up, we have Granger Danger to the stage. Everyone welcome Granger Danger.
Find two microphones now. I have nothing really planned right now, so just Let's see. What now? What now? Winter blanket is dangerous. Watch out for the pedestrians because they are like us. The sidewalks are slush, making your chain go to rust. All that salt rust. Wishing down the road, getting out of the rust, and the drivers are in a rush. Sliding out on ice patches, that's where your helmet smashes.
Watch out for Granger Danger, Mr. Danger.
Just running a couple of seconds behind.
Alright, so, yeah. We're gonna have the ultimate performer of the evening. Before, I want to acknowledge Mason for recording, as he always does. Give him a round of applause. Putting up videos on the interwebs, yes. And Paul Little for doing the sound tonight, as does most nights. A round of applause as well. Everyone for being here, for the first timers, and then not going to be the first timers, I guess. Yeah, keep going back.
Sure.
And so for the ultimate performer of the evening, and it's come to this once again, this tradition goes with Caravan. Everyone, show love and welcome Paul Friesen to the stage.
Enough with the love already. I always get off on the stage.
Whoa. No nudity, man.
Well, after I edit. Stay there. Alright, just for those of you who don't know, I just record just so I can someday remember what I did one day, this day, for once. It's my first time. Thanks for that stifled cough. Alright, thanks to everyone who preceded, and it's always weird having me myself introduced as the ultimate poet. That ultimate just means the last, okay? Let's get that straight.
And the best.
Oh, that's a good thing I can't hear so good. Alright, let's see how and where this goes. As the light leaves us earlier and earlier, I struggle to cling to the golden trunk of leaves and light. Is the night's bark worse than its bite? And did I just hear the break of dawn from that till that is the stage's sound register? Does the weight of my body not have abandonment issues? It's getting later, earlier, except when it gets lather. There's something about the thought of the lathe that turns my mind to wood. Or maybe it was David's great bass. I feel like getting better lathed than never. All too often it is my mind that keeps me in that we're not out of the woods yet state. Sometimes when my mind cavorts with the wood nymphs, with dryads pushing beyond the dyadic envelope and I fall to pixies. I wonder if I'm my own foster child and when I might turn myself into a real boy, since I left my manhood in San Francisco. This is why I'm not a singer. From the heart of the wood in the trunk of the golden bough to the gate. From the color of the beret to the berry as family crests. Curtain. Darkness falls like Saren finishing his set. Carpe tunnel syndromes crossed with visions in the light at the end of summer. Afraid of getting hurt? In a nutshell, or a mason jar. From ashes back to the base, autumn leaves, of getting raked over coals still embered with elm-like memories, planted like trees in a poem I lost among the row upon rows. A while ago at Thanksgiving, I wrote about the Alps, confusing the gathering by talking about a movie that had nothing to do with the Alps. Clearly a case of cinemantics. Yesterday, with the Universal logo first curling around the planet, queuing up, she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. I watched Everest, and it wasn't even anywhere near my bucket list. But I like living on the edge my sons present to me, invitation to new heights, those two towers. Based on a book by a guy who should have called it There and Back Again. If my faith could move a mountain, it would only lead to ordering pizzas loaded with avalanchoes. In the evening, I watched Girls, 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 hosted by the comedian formerly known as Al Ray. She now lives happily ever after's. Thanks.
One more time for Paul Friesen. A Paul for all seasons. In fact, the caravan, we literally do have a Paul for all seasons. There's enough. Yeah, those.
We're gonna need it for your extra season.
Yeah.
Or one for all reasons.
One for all Friesen. Nice. And on that note, he just did. Thanks everyone for coming by. Yeah, great having all the performers and audience members. This happens every Monday right here at Rudolph Rocker, 7 p.m. essentially. And yeah, tell all your friends. And thank you. You guys get home safe. Stay warm. Have a good night.